Hello, and thanks again for joining me for another episode of 177 Nations of Tasmania, where we aim to have conversations with people from every one of the 177 countries of birth represented in Tasmania's population. Now, this is the first episode which has taken me to Devonport, Tasmania's third largest city. On the northwest coast, it's the gateway for many travellers by sea to this island. It has generally been less cosmopolitan than Tasmania's largest cities, Hobart and Launceston, but things do seem to be changing, and there's evidence of this when you look around the town and see more and more of the recent migrant influence. In this episode, I'm talking to Ranti, who moved here from Indonesia 7 years ago and is now firmly settled in Devonport. Now, Indonesia is Australia's largest neighbour, but has historically not been such a big source of migrants. And though many Australians will be familiar with places like Bali, Indonesian culture and perspectives don't perhaps get as much prominence here as you might expect for the fourth most populous nation on earth. So, what brings an Indonesian from a massive, crowded Asian metropolis to the relative quiet of a small coastal city in Tasmania? And what does she make of it? Please join me to find out more.
Come from Indonesia, and I was born in Jakarta. That's the capital city of Indonesia. I was coming from big city. So, Tasmania is just like really brand new for me actually, because since I was little I would never see lots of bush and forest or lots of trees, fresh air.
So what kind of place was Jakarta to grow up in?
Lots of building. I didn't have many places to play with since I was little. That's because just lots of building and lots of malls. So we just basically went to the cinema or went to cafe and stuff like that, because there was a park really, but it wasn't that good. So most of us just went to the mall and then did something there, went to the cinema, eat out and that sort of things. Or hang out in the cafe. I think that was our cultural things there, because it's different when in Tasmania. I saw different things, where you gathering in the pub and then listen to the live music and stuff and then dance and had a drink. But in Jakarta, it was different. We just sit, had a coffee and then just chat with our friends. And there's probably just a background music, no live music, and things like that. So it's different scene, I think. People in Jakarta they're working, because we have this schedule Monday to Friday, and then it's 8 hours a day we work, and then we come back home. And maybe not a lot of people know, but in Jakarta the traffic crazy. You want to go back home 2 hours in the bus, jam in the traffic. That's it. And then after that, you didn't want to trap in the traffic. You went to the mall, you watch movie, or you hang out with your friends after work. And then after that, when it was just late at night at 10 p.m., you went back home. And then after that, in the morning, you start again, working again. That's it. And on Saturday and Sunday, you probably stay at home because you don't want to be trapped in a traffic. And then people in Jakarta, they just love going to the mall. We have hundreds of malls in Jakarta.
Yeah, right.
There be a new different things in a different malls, new cinema, a bigger theater, or they had swimming pool inside or whatever. A fancy things, because that's what people do in Jakarta. I was raised by my mom. That my mom asked me always study and study and study, where she would say if you want to be successful person, you gotta have a good grade. So that's you have to study. So and I think it's different in here.
When you were studying at school, did you have any kind of dream for the future or idea of what you were going to do?
Well, I always love English language. Yeah. So I started like when I was little, I asked my mom I wanted to learn English. So she put me in the English course and then I loved it. And then, like when I was younger, there was like an internet things, MIRC or something. It's a long time ago. Like I tried to like find friends like, from other country
Yeah.
to just speak English, to like, yeah. And I was so excited because like I got to like talk in different language, and I think English always been my passion since I was little. Yeah.
So what brought you to Tasmania and specifically Devonport?
I met a guy, yes, of course, and we got married. And he originally from Devonport.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you meet in Indonesia?
Yes, yeah, yeah. He used to work in Jakarta for 5 years. Yeah, and we met there, and then we had like 2 years long distance relationship, and then after that I came here, and then we got married.
You'd already met in person in Indonesia and got to know each other and then continued.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
And
Correct.
so when was the first time you came to Tasmania?
I came here 2013 in December as a tourist. So I had a tourist visa at that time to visit. That was my first time visit him and his family here. And I think I was staying here for almost 3 months. I think 2.5 months. I was really homesick, of course, because Tasmania is really different with yeah. I love like I went to Melbourne and I just like I love Melbourne because Melbourne big city like Jakarta, so I found the similarity. But like in Tasmania I would just get lonely, and then I miss my friends and family.
But do you remember what your first impressions were?
Yes, I remember that. Quiet. Like I didn't like, oh, there's not a lot of people here, and then it's just like very small town. That's like my perspective because I came from Jakarta, which like big city, and then after that to Devonport, and I was like, oh, this is very small town, and then I wasn't sure about living here. So yeah, that's my first impression. Quiet, very quiet and peaceful.
But obviously you came back.
Yes. I came back. I had to. Yeah, because I made a commitment. Like I was married, so so I settled here, and then after 1 or 2 years, I was just like, oh yeah, this is actually nice, fresh air. There's no traffic, and it's beautiful here. The people are friendly. Yeah, and then I have a lot of friends now. Yeah, which is good. Like friends from different countries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there anything in particular that helped you adjust to this new kind of environment, I guess?
Yeah, actually, I just because like I met a friend here. I think that's like the most important thing. Like like you get to socialize with other people. I mean, like that's me because it's my personality. I just have to socialize with other people, and then I met a friend, and then one, two, and then after that, like continuing like a lot now, and I love involved in community like.
So how did you meet your friend? Was it?
Yeah, it's I think my first friend, her name is Anna. She actually my ex-husband's brother's sister. So
Okay, so it was sort of a family connection.
So family connection. Yes, family connection. So that she's just my first friend, and then after that, she introduced me with Indonesian friend.
Okay.
Yes, and then after that, she introduced me with her friend. So it's just like growing, and then after that, and then I was studying at TAFE. Yep. And then I got to know some people, and then after that, I was working. And then I met new friend again, and then I joined class, like painting class, and then met new people, and joined Pilates, and then personal training, and then that's just like growing. Yeah. Yeah.
So you had a number of different avenues
Yeah.
for meeting people.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's, as you said, that's really important to, have a reasonable life in a new place. Because if you don't, you can feel really lonely and homesick. And all
Yeah,
those
that's
things.
right. Yeah. Like what makes part of you, like you need someone, obviously, not just like your spouse or your child, but you also need to keep in touch with other people too, like new friends or like a community. You need that. Well, it's me.
Did you start having work when you came here, or did you get work later?
No, when I came here, well, because of my visa, I couldn't work. So that was why probably I got homesick, and then I didn't have many friends. So, and then after that, I was thinking, I was just gonna study then, because then I can get a job out of it. And then I was studying, and then after that, I was working as a waitress in one of the Asian restaurant. Yeah, I was waitressing, and then after that, I was working as a kitchen hand because the owner was Indonesian lady, and then she was my friend, and so that was actually my first job here.
Yeah.
yeah, it was fun, but I was thinking, no, I don't really want to like work in a restaurant for a long time. I wanted something different. I wanted to involve in community to help like more. And I was studying that community service in Tasmania and in TAFE, at TAFE. And then I applied for a job as a disability support worker, and I got accepted. And then I've been working for 2.5 years now. Yeah, in the same place. Yeah.
So quite different to what you were doing in Indonesia, I guess.
Yes. Like my last job in Jakarta, I was a customer service in a English institution. So it's like an English course, but like a big institution. So it was different because now like I'm working more in the field, like looking after people with disability.
So obviously Indonesia is a very different kind of culture to what we have here in Tasmania. What are do you think, in your experience, has been some of the bigger cultural differences?
This is interesting actually, because like some people they are invited to my house, and then I cook something like for dinner or something, and they just like surprised, like like they're feeling like weird that I do that stuff, and I say, oh no, I said don't worry, because this is what we're doing. Like if I have a guest, I have a friend visit, then I need to feed them. You don't go out from my house get hungry. You gotta like have a full stomach when you come to my house. So and then sometimes I like if there's a leftover, all right, take it home with you. And then it's like, are you sure you don't have to do that? And I said like, no, I want to do this. That's okay, because I'm happy to do it. Which they're thinking it costs money, and like the food and everything. But I don't think that way. It's food. So I already cook it. So, and I'm happy like if someone enjoy my food, like I'll be like, oh yeah, take it home with you, because I know that they're going to eat it. That's one of our culture, that when you come to my house, you don't get hungry. We gotta feed you. We gotta like give you something to eat. The culture here, like people go to someone's house and then have a drink. So Indonesia, our culture is not drinking. In here, drinking, like to hang out with friends, and that I think that's very different with
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're not raised to drink because religion things and stuff like that. Yeah, so that's the big one. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's it's very much Australian tradition. People would say
Oh,
to
yeah.
socialise
Socialise
at
and
the
drink.
pub or
Yeah.
the bar at the end of the week.
Yeah.
So then, what would be in Indonesia? How would people socialise or relax at the end of the
No.
working?
Like you visit family or friends and then relax, have a tea and then have feast like lunch, and then that's not only like one meal, just a lot of meals, gathering and then eat a lot of food, and that's it. Drink iced tea, iced sweet tea. We're very much love our sugar in Indonesia. So everything in our drink, sugar. So yeah, but we're not, we don't drink. Yeah.
Yeah.
But in here, beer or, wine. So just the different that, very, very much different. Yeah.
And you also mentioned family, which reminded me of something that in Indonesia, is it the case that is the extended family quite an important part of people's lives? I
Yeah.
guess?
Yeah. And also your neighbor
Yeah.
from other blocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're very family oriented.
Yep.
Yeah. Like if you have a wedding. I remember when I had a wedding, my mom I would say to her, we're just gonna invite, our family, and then she would say, oh yeah, but we have to invite our neighbor and the other neighbor from other blocks and my friend from this club and this one, and then after that, but I don't know them. I'm the one that get married, and then but I know them. So when you get married, basically it's your parents' marriage too.
Yeah.
Like your mom will have to invite their friends. Your dad have to invite their friends. Their friends and then they have to, and then my cousin have to invite their friend. So my brother have to invite their friend. So it's like, so it's end up like big wedding, like 300 people invited.
Yeah.
Which I don't know most of them. I didn't know most of them. While in here, you got married, so you invite people that you wanted to invite. Like you wouldn't invite your neighbor, just like unless if you're friend with them. You know what I mean?
If you're close to them,
Yeah.
you don't just invite them.
No, out of the blue, like you only say hello, good day. You wouldn't invite them for the wedding here, but in Indonesia. No. Yeah, you can invite them because they're your neighbor.
Yeah. So did you get married in Indonesia? Or?
Yeah, in Indonesia. I got married in Indonesia. It wasn't big like the other wedding, but for me it was quite big. I would say who's that?
Yeah.
I would ask my mom, who's that? I didn't know this person, and mom would say, that's the other neighbor.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's different cultural things too. Like in here, like you're pretty straightforward. You gotta invite this.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, in Indonesia, oh no, I don't want to hurt his feeling. I have to invite him. Just so basically, like you invite some people in Indonesia because you don't want to hurt her feeling, or because but you don't talk to this person, but he lives next to me and blah blah blah. So
Yeah.
yeah, well, it's just nothing too bad about it. Like Australian people are pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty clear that you're invited because you're my friend. I know you and da. But in Indonesia, you don't want to hurt. Like what I said before, Indonesian people, you don't want to hurt someone's feeling. We expect other people to understand what we're saying. So that's our, different culture, like our cultural.
So there are, I'm guessing then that there are some cultural differences in communication.
Yes,
between
yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember that my friend came to my house one day in Jakarta, and then my mom would offer something, and then he would say no, thank you, and then my mom will say oh what. No, he wants that food. He wants that food. Give it again, and then just give the food all the time. Or if my friend asks my mom something, and then my mom will say, yeah, yes, yeah, but actually my mom doesn't know, like the answer, but she will just say yes because she doesn't want to offend my friend, something like that. Yeah, so yeah, we are Indonesian people. We are too scared to offend or to hurt other people's feeling. So that's why we always say yes, even though we actually don't want to do it, or
Yeah.
but Australian culture, if I don't want to do it, I'm just gonna say no. I don't want it,
Yeah.
But in Indonesia, we just like, we're very like, we don't want to like hurt other people's feelings, so we just say, all right, then I'll do it. Yes, okay. Yeah, that's the culture. Indonesian people that live here like long time, they already know, and then but maybe the people that just come here, they'll be like, maybe like have not complaining, but like have difficulties like with the new culture, which is fair enough because like I think in every places when you come to a new place there'll be adjustment,
Yeah.
and especially the cultural things, and also the people that live in that, like the Australian people have adjustment too to accept new culture, like new people coming from outside Australia come, and they just have to adjust too. I know that a few of Indonesian people, they kind of like feel have a cultural shock when they come here, but it doesn't mean it's a bad thing, because I believe that everything just need adjustment, so then we can live in a harmony. It was hard, like when I came here, like I'm with my skin, dark skin, and people that didn't know me, of course, will misunderstood me or like judge me from my color, like you can see it. I got like the first time I arrived here, I got like a bad treat from Australian woman, few of them. Yeah, I think because of my like, yes, one of them I remember. I was invited to my ex-husband's gathering, and then after that, one of the girl there that know him told me like, oh, how was your holiday in Melbourne? And I was like, oh yeah, it was really good. And then she said, oh, you got to spend your husband's money. And I was like, oh, I was new, like I came here very quite brand new, fresh, and I was like, wasn't it rude to say that, like but I was just like, yeah, it was quite rude, and I was like smiling, and then and I was just like
Especially
smiling.
if you don't know the person.
No, I didn't know the person. She didn't know me. So that's the thing. Some of them would think, oh, you come here, you're not working. But I didn't work, not because I didn't want to, but because of my visa. I still had my tourist visa. I couldn't work. So, but in their head, like some of them would think like you come here to just rip off the Australian men's money.
Gold diggers.
Gold digger.
Gold diggers,
And then I was like, but you don't know me. But that's the thing. That's one of the case that I had to, face, being Asian and being married with Australian man. Like I walk and then come back to your country, or racism. Oh, it happened to me when I was just like brand new, fresh here, and like the woman wouldn't talk to me. But I was pretty lucky when actually I started working in my workplace. Everyone like, of course, like when the first time you start work, people would observe you, but it doesn't mean that they're being horrible to you or being mean to you. They just observe you. Are you like capable in what you're doing? You're good at your job. You're doing your job or not? And then I was pretty lucky that my coworkers, like everyone's pretty accepted. And then they saw me. I did my job and stuff, and then we started like get along pretty well, and until now, yeah. So we pretty much like respect each other, the culture and everything. And yeah, actually I'm the only Asian in my workplace, and one of my friends, she's South American.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're
Yeah, and we
That's
should
right.
explain that, you know, we're of course in Devonport, which is not so multicultural as even other parts of Tasmania. And I think you came here 7 years ago, and you said then at that time it was even less
yeah.
multicultural.
Yes, that's right.
So
But, yeah,
what was it like
oh,
at that time?
yeah, I didn't see many Asian people, obviously. And then the treatment too from Australian people. Not all of them. I mean, most of them friendly and nice to me. But I could get like some of a cynical, like, you know, or like staring and just that kind of prejudice, like judgmental things. But now, like, I think because a lot of Asian people like now in here, so they're pretty much accepted. And then actually, if you go to the cafe here, there'll be like one dish, like Asian dish in their cafe. So that's really good. So I was thinking, oh, this is good. Introducing like different food to Australian people, and then I see that, oh, this is accepted. This is really good. Yeah. You just have to be accepted. You are minority here.
Yeah.
It could happen. It's not a good thing. Like, you can't accept that. But racism is everywhere.
Yeah.
And as a minority, you just have to be prepared about that. If people shout at you, come back to your country, just ignore it. You know, that's me. Like, I wouldn't go for it, or because I was just thinking, well, they probably doesn't know another culture, and they're probably not raised to know other culture, which is sad, but that's okay. I mean, I'm just thinking they just don't know what they're doing. Or they know what they're doing, but you know, just like be positive about it, just ignore it.
At least maybe from when you first started living here, what do you think was the most challenging thing to adjust to?
To make friends, I think that's the most challenging thing, to make friends, because like you live in Australia, you will have like, you know, you will miss the part of Indonesian community. You will, you know, you the first thing that you will do. This is very natural that you want to hang out with people that you know come from the same country with you, of course. Yeah, because they talk the same language, the culture, the food, everything, right? And then after that, you find your Indonesian community, right? And you make a friend with them. And then for me, I want to make a friendship with Australian people. That's the challenging things, because language barrier, the communication, because sometimes what I'm saying in English, they probably think about other meaning, you know. So it's gonna be like a language barrier, and the cultural things too, because I wasn't raised to like hang out and then drink, but Australian people, they hang out and drinking, right? And it's hard, like that's challenging, because then I have to drink with them, but they're pretty respectful if I don't drink. And then I start drinking because, well, I like wine, you know. I love wine, and so I kind of enjoy it. And then after that, hang out with, you know, with them. And then also like, because we have different culture, of course, and then language barrier, the topic that we're going to talk with, that's different. Because the topic that I talk with my Indonesian friend will be different with, you know, with the I'm pretty much easygoing, and I think I'm a people person. I just love, you know, like socializing. So from there, like I get friend from, you know, like Australian friend, and then after that, from other different countries. I just love, like, you know, like knowing different culture. Yeah. So that's the challenging thing, making a friendship.
Have you found there are any topics of conversations that Australians really like to, or locals like to talk about?
I don't know. Well, they like football. I never like football whatsoever. But I don't think my girlfriends, like, Australian girlfriends, like they don't really talk about, I think with Australian girls, they're not open up really easily about their private lives. So probably you want to talk about basic stuff, like, how you doing? Oh, what did you do for work?
Yeah.
Things like that.
Small
It's just
talk.
Small talk first. Please don't ask, like, are you married? How old are you? Please don't ask that.
Is it okay to ask that in Indonesia?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's like, oh, how old are you? Oh, are you
Yeah.
married? Do you have children? Why not? You look chubbier. You're too skinny.
Yeah.
But please don't talk like if you want to make friendship.
If you don't know the people well.
Oh no,
just
it's
don't
quite
avoid those things.
It's rude. Don't, because I know some people that actually do that. Like, you Australian girl, like, look at you, you're bigger now. And I was like, oh my god. I just didn't say anything. I was just running.
You mentioned to me that you've, since being in Tasmania, you've taken up a few other new hobbies. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, which I never done it in Indonesia, really. I feel like even though Tasmania is probably a small community, like smaller than Jakarta, but they offer so many things, like art, which I love. I learned to paint. I've been taking the class in La Trobe. Yeah, and then I noticed that a lot of art coming from La Trobe.
Okay.
Yes, and then I took like Pilates class too. Well, actually in Indonesia we got that, gym and everything. Yeah, but I start doing those classes here. Pilates and then personal training. What else did I do? I wanted to take pottery class too. Yeah. And actually, I'm about to do my pole dance class in November.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's for exercising.
A lot of the people I've interviewed since they've come to Tasmania, they've taken up some either creative or physical activity that they didn't do before, or they couldn't do easily in their home country.
Yeah, I think because like we just stuck with our job. We work 8 hours a day, burn out, and we just wanted to relax, and that was it. And then we didn't want to stuck in a traffic jam. So yeah, while in here you can just drive 5 minutes to my Pilates class, 3 minutes, or like 10 minutes to my painting class. That was it. So there's no excuse for you like not to taking those classes.
You have more free time because you're not in traffic.
Yeah, that's right. So, and then so many things they offer, like positive things.
Tell me what you're doing with your art now.
Well, at this moment, I'm painting. I start painting pet that already passed. So at this moment, I'm painting my friend's dog that he passed because of cancer.
Okay.
Yeah. So and then I was thinking, why don't I paint like all my friends' pet that they already passed, and I'm gonna put it in one of the in my exhibition next year. But not only that, I'm trying to paint other things too. Yeah, and it's gonna be for charity. That's what I plan. Yeah, but all the painting that I paint for my friend, they're late animals, like their pets they already passed. It's I'm gonna put it in my exhibition, but it's gonna come back to my friends. But the one that I sell for charity is gonna be different things.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the plan. Because I just love painting, and actually I'm gonna set up my little studio in my living room. If my painting make other people smile, and if it's for a good cause like a charity, that's gonna be good. Because it's just hobby. Like I got main job, and I'm planning to study again in uni.
What are you planning to study?
Social work.
Okay.
Yeah, because at this moment I'm a support worker for disability people, so I think social work will be in the same industry. And I just yeah, love involved in the community, and then to help community, which is, I think that's my passion is. Yeah, and then I'm gonna use my pain to be involved in the community to help. It's probably small. I'm not a big artist or anything like that. It's just for hobby, but yeah, if it's for a good cause, why not? I'm planning to apply for citizenship. So while I'm waiting for that maybe I can go to TAFE to study interior design too, because it's gonna be combined well with the art.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's good to have a lot of things because I just love do a lot of activities now, like doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good for my skill, I think. I do have a dream too. I wouldn't know in Indonesia. I didn't know that what I was going to do. But in here, I know what I want. I found myself here. I know what I wanted, and then